Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Danny TV. Tuning in with a new video, and I'm going to be showing you guys um, about the disappearance of Summer Utah Wells. I believe that's her name, Summer Wells. And there's actually a few things that I've came across, like a few updates. This is my first time talking about the disappearance of this beautiful 5-year-old baby girl from Tennessee who's been missing for about 11 or 12 days now. So here it states Tennessee cops says that Summer Wells' missing child case is outside of the norm. Tennessee police said Thursday that they are frustrated by the lack of clarity in the disappearance of 5-year-old Summer Wells, who was last seen planting flowers in her garden before she vanished. While every case is different, this one is definitely outside of the norm. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation spokesperson Leslie Earhart said at a briefing on the progress or lack of it in the case. Typically, in an investigation like this one, we have some idea of where the case is headed and what might have happened within a few days. In this situation, despite doing everything within our power and exploring all avenues, the circumstances leading to Summer's disappearance remain unclear. Authorities say Summer's family has been cooperating. Her mother, Candace Bly, took and passed a polygraph, according to her husband, Donald Wells. Meanwhile, his criminal record, which includes a 2020 arrest for domestic assault, has come under scrutiny. "We've worked it out. She's apologized to me," Wells, who pleaded guilty to gun possession under the influence in connection with the incident, said of Bly. She's went to the district attorneys, she's even went to the judge and told them she made a serious mistake, and that's the end of it. Summer was last seen June 15th at her home in Rogersville, which is in Tennessee, by the way. She was planting flowers with her mother and her grandmother, and she wanted to go into the house. So my wife watched her go into the door, and she went into the house, her father told WJHL. Wells said, and the boys were on the internet, of course, and she wanted to go downstairs and play with her toys. So when her mother came in and she says, "Summer," and she went down into the basement and she didn't answer, so she went down there and she was gone. Now, honestly, y'all, that's exactly how he said it. But wait, let me say it how Donald, Summer's father, who's rambling, you know what I'm saying? Let me say how he said it. This is exactly how he said it. And the boys were on the internet, of course, and, she wanted to go downstairs and play with her toys. So when her mother came in, she says, "Summer," and she went down into the basement and she didn't answer. So she went down there and she was gone. Some bad person grabbed her, but we have no idea. The FBI and the police have covered every single place. Everything that anybody can think of, they've covered. Search crews have inspected 4.6 square miles using aerial and ground crews. They have scoured waterways and have spoken to anyone in the area the day of the disappearance. More than 300 tips have come in, but none has yielded significant information. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation Captain Tim Coop said his search crews are drained from the painstaking work. "I've had most of my guys come up to me and tell me, 'Captain, I'll go to the end, but I'm tired. I am physically and I am mentally tired,'" Coop said, adding, "We will not quit until we find Summer Wells." Asked if police think it's possible Summer is still alive, Earhart said, "We typically would have found a child at this stage in the investigation, so honestly, we just don't know." She added, "I understand the lack of answers frustrates you and the public, but trust me, no one is more frustrated than we are." And that is it. And honestly, guys, this case has caught so much attention. So much attention. Look at her beautiful face. Just look at her. And another thing I want to say, because I comment on a lot of YouTubers that is talking about this case. I comment and I say what I feel in regards to I just feel as if sometimes I just feel as if, law enforcement is looking at all the wrong places. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like they should go a little farther, at least about 11, 12 miles. I feel like they should have searched where Summer went swimming at that day. Because there was a guy, he had searched over there and found the twisted teas. Now we don't know. I mean, that could be anybody's twisted tea, just like somebody else said in the comments. But we obviously know that's exactly what went inside that 15-year-old's body that day when they were there, swimming. So I just feel like, they should block that off and use the twisted teas as DNA. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is frustrating that we're not getting any answers. Of course, I've been arguing with people on YouTube that has said something in regards to my comment talking about, oh well, what do you think? You really think that law enforcement is going to tell you everything? I don't think law enforcement is going to tell me everything. I know exactly how law enforcement works. I know. You know what I'm saying? But it's just frustrating how this girl has been missing for 12 days and we still have yet to find any trace of her. So who wouldn't be upset? Who wouldn't be angry? You tell me that. You know what I'm saying? And everybody is entitled to their own opinion here on YouTube. I mean, this is being put out to the public, and I'm here in Chicago and I'm finding stuff out about Miss Summer Wells being missing. You know what I'm saying? And I also have a 6-year-old son. I have a 3-year-old daughter. I have little small kids as well. So, this would hit home to any mother. You know what I'm saying? And this can happen anywhere. I just feel like don't go judging somebody else's opinion on how they feel about what they feel like law enforcement is doing. Like, okay, if I felt like law enforcement was taking too long, then, I mean, that's just how I feel. You know what I'm saying? If I feel like the father had something to do with this girl's disappearance, or the father and the mother and the grandmother, that's just how I feel. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion, and I just hate when people like bash other people in the comment section about how they feel and what they feel, calling people investigators or detectives, you know what I'm saying, Facebook detectives or YouTube detectives. Or I mean, that's pretty much what everybody else, I mean, everybody is leaning towards being a detective right now. So, I mean, like, I'm not bashing nobody for stating their opinion about where Summer is. You know what I'm saying? There's people that saying, oh, they believe that the 15-year-old has something to do with it. While on the other hand, I don't believe he had anything to do with her disappearance, but I'm not going to bash the next person for their thoughts on Summer. Like, just like the Orrin and Orson case, everybody thought that the biological mother had something to do with her son's disappearance. And I'm not sure if people still think that, but all the evidence is pretty much pointing towards the adoptive parents, although they still have yet to be arrested. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody knows that it's obvious it was them. Those boys are still missing. They still haven't found them. And honestly, I'm starting to think that something really bad, happened and they're no longer here with us. I'm sad to say that, but that's just how I feel. And with Summer, I really feel as if, I strongly feel, coming from a mother's intuition, that Dawn Wells and Candace had something to do with her disappearance. I strongly feel that it had everything to do with drugs. But so you tell me this, guys. The most confusing part of this case, And before I even go into my opinion on, you know what I'm saying, what I think happened, honestly, what I want you guys to understand, please don't go bashing other people in the comment section about what they feel and how they feel about what happened, because you will be wasting your time, you know what I'm saying, reading everybody's comment trying to bash them for how they feel. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, like I said in the beginning, is entitled to their own opinion, and everybody is frustrated, everybody is angry. And I believe me, you know what I'm saying, I wish I was in Tennessee, because I would be searching for this little girl high and low. I would actually have my own little search team, and we'll be searching. Other than the places that they're searching now, we would literally be searching. I would be going according to what I see on, you know what I'm saying, YouTube, and where, you know, people obviously might think that she's at. I'm just saying, you know, that's just me. That's something that I would possibly do if I was in the state of Tennessee. I would literally be I would search with them, but then I would have my own small search team, and we'll be searching somewhere else as well. You know, all the possible connections, or, you know, if you're dedicated to finding this little girl, and I'm not saying they aren't dedicated, because they actually are. If you are definitely dedicated and really, really, really want to find this baby girl and find out where she is, I would literally be looking at a lot of, you know, psychics and mediums and seeing what they're talking about. Let's see, you know, people that know the family. I mean, y'all want to call me a YouTube detective or whatever, Facebook detective, even though I'm not on Facebook, whatever you want to call me that, because you want to know what, I will be that, and I will be that for summer, because I have my own kids. You know what I'm saying? I don't want anything to happen to my kids or anybody else's kids, and this is sad. I will literally be out there searching high and low. So, like I was saying, why can't it be cordial on YouTube, on Facebook? Like, why do everybody gotta be against each other? At the end of the day, there is a 5-year-old little girl that's out there somewhere, and she might not have a clue as to where she is. It's looking like less and less hope for her to be alive right now. I'm sorry, but it's like I just, the fact that they can't find a trace of her is extremely unsatisfying. And I'm talking about like literally no trace. Like, whoever took this baby girl cleaned this up so well at this point, cleaned this up so well. I mean, like, there is literally no trace of her, and it's so sad. Like, it's so sad and so frustrating. So everybody's gonna have their own opinions, like I said, about where Summer is. When will law enforcement, I mean, you know, there's a lot of anger towards law enforcement, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. I mean, obviously you have people that's telling me like, oh, they are doing their jobs and they're doing okay. That's how you feel, and this is how I feel. You know what I'm saying? I understand that they said like, oh, well, they would have been found some type of trace, but I mean, like, you have so many tips. People are calling in, telling you guys what's going on, and, you know, giving you guys tips, and you just dismissing them, saying that it has really nothing to do with the case. So what's the point of calling in and giving tips then? That just makes me feel like the people that is giving tips should really like get out here themselves and search for something. Because I mean, like, y'all not following the tips, so I mean, what's the point of calling in and giving a tip if all you're gonna do is probably just listen to the tip or write it down and discard it? Like, it makes no fucking sense. It makes no fucking sense. And the simple fact that y'all are literally searching, they say they searched 1,000 acres. but it's still like around that area where she's in. I'm saying, like, can't y'all at least go a little farther out and search? You know what I'm saying? Like, this girl, God forbid, is probably somewhere thinking nobody cares about her right now. And I hate to say that, but just, I mean, it's sad. Um, so I honestly want to give you guys my opinion on what I feel like happened. And like I said, we all entitled to our own opinion. So don't go bashing the next person about what they think and how they feel, you know. So I just want to start by saying, first off, when the father was the main one doing interviews on the news and stuff like that, it was kind of alarming to me. For one, I'm thinking I gave a mother a pass because I'm like, okay, you know, maybe she's breaking down. And right now at this moment, she doesn't want to be seen, which is understandable. So I'm like, okay, I mean, we would want to hear from one of the parents at least. So the fact that he started rambling and, you know what I'm saying, just she went downstairs and then she came upstairs and then she was outside and she was planting flowers. It just seems like a story that they just put together, like a little script. It was hard. You could tell it was hard for him to remember it because he kept messing up. Like, he kept changing the fucking story. And I noticed that he changed the story like the second time they had him on there. And I'm like, wait a minute. Didn't he just say, like, she was outside planting flowers? So which one is it? Was Candace getting her knee brace or whatever you want to call it fixed by her mother and Summer was outside playing? Or was Summer planting flowers? And I mean, like, he just kept changing it. So it was, and then, like, he didn't seem an ounce of concern. And all you see in his face is like, well, it is what it is. I mean, she out there, they better find her, type thing. You know what I'm saying? Then Summer's brother, who was in an interview with Summer's dad, Don, seemed like, I agree with a lot of people. He did seem very uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. He looked as if he knew something, or maybe it can be that. Maybe he's suspicious. Maybe because you know, a lot of kids have strong intuitions as well. You know, like my kids, they know something. They know when something isn't right. So maybe he's getting suspicions about his own parents, you know, because he already knows how they are. Or, it's maybe he was just irritated and didn't want to be by his dad at that time. You know, I feel for the boys, and it's sad how they're being raised because I wouldn't even blame them. You know, they're kids themselves. So it's always the parents that give off that impression on the kids. And honestly, like, the way that they are raising them from the videos that I've seen is sad. It's like you're allowing them to hold gun. I mean, I hear that downstate in Tennessee or where they're from, I guess, like, it's normal for that. I don't I don't know. Like, me personally, I wouldn't be trying to train my kids at very young ages to hold a gun. I would wait till they're at least of age. But the way that they were holding it the wrong way, and it's just very alarming. And then, like, when I seen the video of them on the what was that? Well, they were at a carnival or something. They were on a ride with their dad, and they were cursing. And then when one of the brothers had pushed Summer down, and then the dad was just laughing, like, it's supposed to be funny. Like, bro, come on now. It's just, and then I hear what y'all saying when y'all said that Summer's dad is using language in past tense. I get that, but have y'all not seen these people the way that they write, like they're actually illiterate as hell. So right now at this point, I wouldn't even focus on the past tense part because they already don't know how to spell and they're literally like illiterate as hell. So I wouldn't even pretty much too focus on that, although that is alarming as well. I give y'all that. But yeah, let me finish with my opinion. So anyway, back to what I was saying. He was pretty much like just rambling on and rambling on it. Then like as the days went on, I started to see that the mother was just pretty much shying away from the camera. She didn't even make a statement. You know what I'm saying? But I'm hearing that she's on TikTok making videos and on Facebook or whatever saying stuff or whatever the case is. So my thing is, you on these social media sites, but you can't get your ass in front of the camera or make a statement to the news station about your baby girl. Like everybody else said, and I highly agree. If that was me as a parent and my child is fucking missing, I would be out here every damn day in front of the news station showing a picture of my baby, showing a picture of him or her, showing what they had, letting them know what they had on last, pleading for my child to come back home. It's sad that Don's evil ass got in front of the camera and rambled on and said what he said about Summer, even though it's clear as day that he really don't care. But Candace, you couldn't get your big ass up in front of the camera or make a statement, at least, even if not in front of the camera, about bringing Summer back. You gotta be kidding me right now. Then the grandmother didn't say anything. Then you have people that's claiming to be like friends of the family and stuff like that, saying stuff on Facebook about the family, which sometimes kind of hard to believe because you got people that's crazy and they do stuff for attention. So that's not like credible. I mean, if you listen to everything that they are saying, sometimes it really don't make sense. But anyway, I believe that Summer's disappearance is based off Don and Candace doing drugs, owing money, and stuff like that. And they knew that it would come a point in time where this person would come and, take their child. And I believe that they actually knew this person would take their child. But what I do believe is that they knew that the person would take their child. But I believe that they probably didn't know what day it would happen. Like, I believe that Don probably just didn't, him and Candace probably didn't have the money to pay back this person or whatever the case is, and the person probably told them, okay, you don't pay me back, then something's going to happen to your family. Probably sent threats their way and everything, and instead took Summer. But I believe that they're in on it because they just knew that this person would take Summer. I feel like they wouldn't even make the effort to get her back because in videos, yeah, they're out and about and having fun and doing all this and that. Behind closed doors, Summer was being abused. The boys were being abused. I've been told that they weren't eating, they weren't bathing. Summer used to look very dirty. while the boys were looking fresh and clean. And it's obvious because the boys were in school and Summer wasn't, but that's still not an excuse to leave her out here like that. You know what I'm saying? And treat her different from her brothers. Like, come on now. Like, I have one son and I have three girls, but I don't treat him any different from his sisters. Like, they get to play with Barbie dolls and stuff like that, and he plays with his little action figures and trucks and all type of stuff. Sometimes he feels like he wants to be included in doing stuff with them, and I'm like, no, you can't play with Barbies. I mean, you could play with your action figures with their Barbies or something, like something, you know what I'm saying, that can help all of them together as siblings, play right. But sometimes I tell him, okay, you need to give your sister space and let them have their little girly thing and you do your little boy thing. But what I'm not going to do is treat my kids any different from one another. Summer was being treated extremely different. And this was coming from some YouTubers that had videos, which actually I'm going to show you guys in a minute. This video that I literally just saw is an update, and I'm actually gonna post a link to the YouTuber's page once I'm done showing you guys the video. Anyway, I believe that this person took Summer. I believe that day that Summer was outside, he saw perfect opportunity to grab her, or he lured her to his car. Probably said, "Hey, I got some candy for you," or something like that. And she obviously went along because it's someone in that, like, that's close to the family. It's a friend of the family, you know. He took her, and I don't think that he took her out of the state. I believe that she's at least, like I said, 11 miles from the house. At least, you know what I'm saying? Between 5 to 11 miles away. He tortured her. He beat her. He raped her. I believe he did a lot to this little girl. And I just, that's my take on it. You know what I'm saying? But what I don't understand, y'all, is earlier in the day, they said that she went to the river with her mom and the 15-year-old, that her crazy ass mom gave the 15-year-old a twisted tea, which has 5% alcohol in it. Like, what the hell are you giving a 15-year-old alcohol? And then she was like doing inappropriate things. I mean, saying inappropriate things to this 15-year-old. She called him his homie, her homie, and stuff like that. And another thing about her mom, obviously, she represents the Confederate flag. I mean, she got the mask, the hat, scarf. So, you know what type of person she is. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, and then she does drugs and stuff like that. She's lazy, filthy, just trifling. You know what I'm saying? And let's not forget, y'all. Back in 2009, Summer's auntie, who her name was Rosemarie Bly, which is Candace's sister, went missing back in 2009, and they literally found no trace of her at all. The only thing that they found was her car on the side of the road. This girl had 2 kids, and they said she was a devoted mother and would never leave her kids behind. So the fact that she just went missing, and also we were told that she had called DCS on Candace about her not being a great mother to the kids. And I guess that's when DCS got involved And it was like after that, that's when Rose ended up missing. But don't you just think it's such a coincidence that this has been happening in their family for a very long time? Like, all these people close to her is coming up missing. Now your 5-year-old daughter is missing. Oh, let's not forget, Candace had a daughter that she gave up for adoption. And let's not forget, Don in the past tried to sell 2 of his children for drugs. I mean, so you talking about Candace's sister being a devoted mother. Well, Candace and Don were both devoted crackheads, obviously. What I don't understand is why hasn't DCS took these children? They're living in an extremely dirty environment. They abuse these kids. They do drugs. I mean, everything they got to do with abuse and neglect. And you mean to tell me she still has her kids, even till this point, even while her 5-year-old child is missing? You got to be fucking kidding me. Look at how the system is. But when you heard about Brittany Bowens, I don't know if y'all heard about Malia Davis, when they reported her missing but ended up finding her body, I think it was like 4 or 5 days later. She was reported missing, and that was a black family, so they instantly swooped in and took the kids. And this happens a lot. You know, they take the kids once, from what I've been seeing, once a child is reported missing or turn up dead or something like that. But it's like, this girl here is doing drugs, all type of stuff, and you see it, but she still has her kids. I've been told that law enforcement is watching them closely. I mean, how close are y'all watching them? How close are y'all watching them? Y'all watching them closely, but Candace just allowed a family friend to come to the house, take the boys the other day, take them, I think they went golfing or something like that, I'm not sure. But he took and that guy is creepy. I don't trust him. I believe his name is David or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But a lot of people have been saying that he looks suspicious. One of the psychics, what is her name? Quantum Reality. I believe that's how you pronounce her name on YouTube. She actually described the predator that took Summer to look just like this guy. And this was way before his interview even came out. So just think about it. It was like kind of weird, like when we saw him on the interview and he looked just like the person that she described. Not only that, but another YouTuber said that the person that took Summer plays an instrument. Looks creepy. He dresses in women's clothing, and someone actually confirmed that he had a picture of himself dressed in women's clothing. And I'm talking about the guy that just did the interview yesterday, talking about he took the boys out to get their minds off the situation, and because the police were coming in and out their house and he didn't want them to be around that. This is the guy that a lot of people want law enforcement to look into, because he does look creepy, and I don't trust him. It's sad because it's like, actually, everybody that they bring around this girl is straight creep. Honestly. Straight pedo creep. And I know I just cut myself off from what I was about to say, but honestly, like, let me just blow her picture up here. Honestly, like, y'all, this girl is so beautiful. And what I was going to say is, what I don't understand is, how was she at the river or the lake or whatever you want to call it earlier that day, having a good time swimming. And then a few hours later, she turns up missing. That's what makes me feel like the mother plotted this whole fucking. I promise y'all, she had to plot this thing out. Because why wasn't the boys there? Why wasn't the boys there? You okay, so remember when I was telling y'all that I feel like what happened was the mother and the father owed a debt, and instead of paying this person back, they knew that the person was going to take their child, and they didn't know what day the person was going to take their child. Remember when I said that? Okay, so now I'm thinking, Summer, why was she at the lake without her brothers? She was with her mom and with this 15-year-old at the freaking lake. They getting drunk and shit. Summer just climbing on the rocks, having a good time, smiling, not even knowing that day her whole life would change for the worse. First and foremost, I can't get it out of my head. Like, how did that even happen? It had to be planned. It had to be. Because if it wasn't planned, then why is it, like I said, that the brothers wasn't there? Why wasn't the brothers there? Think about it. Summer was there by herself with the creepy ass 15-year-old boy and her crazy ass mama. So, no, I don't believe that, she went missing at the lake, because she ended up coming back home. She ended up coming back home from the lake. And I guess she was playing outside and stuff like that. But it seems just so planned and plotted out. Or she could have went missing at the lake, and they could have came back and noticed that okay, so now I'm thinking either or. So now I'm thinking, like, she was at the lake, her brothers wasn't there, she was there with her mom and the sick, creepy ass 15-year-old, her crazy ass mom, and she was playing and stuff like that. And the guy pulled up, took Summer, mom turned around, no sign of Summer. Then they ended up searching for her, couldn't find her, went back to the house, made up a damn story, called her husband, told him, all right, Summer's gone. He told her, okay, call 911. What you calling me for? Because, obviously, he really don't give a fuck in the first damn place. I just feel like it was a relief to him, because it's like, damn, I didn't pay off the debt, and they did what they had to do, and they took Summer. Well, at least I ain't got to worry about paying no damn money and getting killed. Instead, they took my daughter. I mean, it seems a little far-fetched, but you could never put anything past this sick, twisted-ass family. I believe that it is a possibility this 15-year-old could be covering for Candace. It is a possibility. Because he doesn't want to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that she probably went missing at the lake. And that was the last sign of her. Now, I could be wrong, because all they would have to do is question the brothers which I'm pretty sure they probably did already, and they probably said the last time they saw her was at the house. Well, maybe she was at the house earlier that day, so-called planting flowers or whatever you want to call it. Then she got in the car with her mom. The mom told the boys, stay here. I'm going to take Summer out. Took Summer out to the lake, picked up the 15-year-old, took Summer to the lake, and it was just the three of them. Don't you just think that seems a little plotted? Either way, it just seemed plotted because it's like the boys wasn't there. And it's like in every video, they're always with their sister, like having fun and stuff like that. So it's weird. Like, this whole situation is weird, and I just hope that we figure out what happened to her. But I'm about to show y'all this video that I just saw on YouTube. So bear with me.
Hi guys, it's Emma. Okay, so this is somebody that knows a family that apparently called DCS on them. She said, yes, I called DCS, not only because the place was filthy, there were rats, foot-long wolf rats and bugs. It got so bad they were all over the damn counters. Candace just stayed on her phone and paid no attention to the kids. Very rarely made dinner and gave them chips and candy for dinner, but would do fast food sometimes too. She was not depressed, just high and lazy. I would say in the past she has had short episodes with depression, but not as of late. She never brought anything for the kids, although they did have money. They would spend money on booze, cigarettes, drugs, fast food, junk food, etc. They still had money in their pockets at all times. They were given clothes for the kids, etc. The kids did have the essentials needed, but not the care needed. They played by the lake and things free on weekends sometimes, which is good because Summer loved the lake, but always wanted to go to the movies and do other things which they wouldn't pay the money for. I had already talked to Candace about taking her to the movies, and now I won't get the chance to. And Dawn has control issues and said the brat isn't doing anything for a while because she was restricted for a month, so they fought about that. Dawn is as cheap as they come too, all about himself. I've heard him call his daughter a C word, I'm not going to say that, before. Candace just sits there and does nothing. Don't be fooled. I had good reasons for calling DCS. What kind of a man calls their own daughter a C word? I said something immediately. He said, she's my daughter and I could leave and never come back. He uses church as a crutch. Look, Summer loved dolls, but she wanted Hot Wheels like her brothers, which they would not buy for her because she's a girl and her brothers would hit her bad when she tried to play with theirs. Summer said they won't let me have any or won't buy me a Barbie car because I'm a girl. She was able to do things like her brothers, fish, etc., but they had warped views too. Don's personality depended on who he was around. If he was around somebody from church or someone from work, customers, etc., he was a nice guy. So was Candace, but when it came to people he encountered regularly, he was not. As I've mentioned, she liked dolls somewhat, but often wanted to play with other things. She loved Lion King, but because she's a girl, they didn't buy her Lion King stuff either. I remember them fighting, calling each other horrible names because she would put dye on Summer's hair. I tried to help these kids, I really did. Oh, and someone mentioned the picture of the three boys and Summer holding the dog, and the boys looked better cared for. The reason they looked better cared for was because they were in school and Summer was not in school. I was so excited about Summer starting school, and she was so excited too. Summer's older brother also had some psychological and behavioural issues. Dad caught him drinking once, just a kid. He punched him in the face, and Candace told me this. And he also lies about everything. even simple things that you don't need to lie about. He's a lot like his dad already. I haven't been sleeping. Kids need out of this home ASAP. I was only at the home once or twice a month. I would always play with Summer with one of her toys for about 30 minutes, and she had no one to play with. We would sit down and play, and this is how I know she wasn't allowed some toys, because she told me. She even offered up some of her toys she didn't like. She said I was beautiful, such a sweet soul. I called social services anonymously. Candace even texted to ask me if I'd called them, and I said no. She was asking a lot of people, and I'm sure I'm not the only one through the years who have called. If I told the truth, then you know what would have happened. What would you say? This is the first time I've ever felt the need to call. I've seen the property on the news since I was there last, and the place looks more clean outside the property than when I was last there.
And guys, that was, what is her name? Crime Stories Obsessed. She's actually a pretty decent YouTuber. Ever since the Summer Wells case, I've been watching her videos, and she always has like good updates and comes with proof from Facebook. So she just puts it out there, and these things are allegedly, you know what I'm saying? So let's not forget that this is allegedly. Her name is Crime Stories Obsessed here on YouTube, and I'm going to make sure I put the link in the description as well. Other than that, can you guys give me a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, and I will continue to talk about this case until Summer is found. And I'm praying for her. I'm praying that they find her. I'm praying for the boys. Like, I'm just praying for the family that really, really lost her, and they really miss her, and they really love her. I'm praying that they find her, and that they come with some answers very soon, because a lot of people is frustrated, and it's just this extremely sad and frustrating. So like, comment, and subscribe, guys. I'm gonna keep you guys up to date on this case. All right.